Good Doc back again. Once again, let's lock in. A common saying in our community, ladies and gentlemen, is that when it comes to dealing with Filipinas, when it comes to sexy time, or when it comes to getting the punan, however you want to describe it, there's often this thought process amongst many foreigners that in one way or another, you're going to pay for it, right? We say that often. But I had an epiphany watching a video earlier today that kind of sort of, wanted me to deep dive that entire thought process when it comes to foreigners and dealing with Filipinas. When we say you're going to pay for it in one way or another, if you're the type of guy who likes to go to the bars and stuff like that, and, at the end of the day, you take a girl out and you pay for it that way, that's one way. And then you have guys who will say something along the lines of, well, if I get food, give her taxi money, or we buy the taxi and we do this and we do that, that also constitutes as paying, right? But then I thought about it, right? And when I watched this video, shout out to, it was Tristan Tate. I saw this video, it was a clip, right? He said something that was hella profound to me that really made me think about this, right? He was like in the clip, and you guys may have seen the clip, maybe you haven't, but I'm going to try to just, summarize it to the utmost, the best I can. He said, if you're not changing that particular young lady's situation or financial situation, did you really pay for it? Now, if he used the example of Sheik in Abu Dhabi or, in one of the Middle Eastern countries, if they pay top dollar to have sex with the most expensive escort that the country has to offer, doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to get the same level of sex as you would with somebody who you're genuinely in a relationship that may not look as good as the escort, but, she may be less attractive than the escort, but yet and still it's somebody that's like your wife or somebody that you're a boyfriend or a girlfriend to, and y'all just having sex with one another. The level of sex that you have with that person is going to be more along the lines of lust and love, as opposed to, well, this is purely transactional, right? With the Sheik and the escort, it's purely a transactional fact. Right? And it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get the best you ever had. She can lay there like a wet fish, flop around or whatever, and it may suck. Right? So you pay all this money and it could potentially suck. But what you're doing is you're actually changing the financial situation of that particular young lady. By the time she finishes with you, and I hope it's not too graphic for y'all, but by the time you're finally finished in that particular situation in that regard, she's going to come out, let's be honest, she's going to come out richer. As opposed to, well, if you take a girl to Jollibee, right? Now, work with me as the example. If you take a girl to Jollibee or Pizza Hut or something and you feed her and, you guys get back into the taxi and shit, and then she slides back to the room with you and lets you smash, that's a whole different situation, because at the end of the day, you didn't change her financial situation at all, did you? Did you change her financial situation? Probably not. Okay, maybe you gave her 500, maybe you gave her 1,000. Top end, if you're crazy as fuck, maybe you gave her $100, right? 5,000 pesos, if that was what you chose to do. But you didn't necessarily have to do it. How much do you honestly think you changed the financial situation? Yes, 5,000 pesos is a lot of money in the Philippines, right? Depending on who you give it to, that money could definitely be, you can definitely make it work, but it's not life-changing money. You didn't necessarily change her financial situation, as opposed to, the Sheik who's probably going to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars. Who knows? Maybe $1 million. Who knows? Right? When you're rich, money doesn't necessarily mean a thing. But right, your little 5,000, granted, it's a lot, but it only changes the circumstances for a limited time only. So when we talk about the idea that we're going to pay for it in one way or another, yes, we're looking at it from the perspective of, if we're coming out of pocket and spending money on anything, whether it be food, drinks, taxi fare, cab fare, bike fare, trike fare, jeepney fare, whatever it is, we're paying for it. But ultimately, if we think of it from the perspective of, did her life change did her financial situation change as a result of her dealing with us, or dealing with us, the foreigner in the Philippines? If it didn't change, did we really, really pay for that play like that? did we really pay for that play like that? And I really wanted to talk about that one because, that brings up some great points. So, I mean, technically, I've told you guys time and time again, the clearest path to a Filipina's heart is through her stomach. I said this shit. Feed her, and I promise you, she'll be probably more open to damn near anything. Feed her. Feed her. I say that shit, y'all think I'm crazy. But for some reason, Filipinos get real comfortable when they're fed, right? I don't know what it is. Sometimes when it comes to interactions with foreigners and stuff, like let's say I'm gonna meet you at the mall or whatever, most of the times when they come to the mall, they're hungry. And I always asked in the past, you want to eat something? You want to grab something to eat? Most of them say, I don't know, but you could look in their eyes and tell that they're hungry as fuck, right? But that's neither here nor there. But like I said, the cheapest way and the easiest path is through the stomach, man. Feed them, right? And they will be a little bit more comfortable with, conversations with you. Once her stomach got a little bit on it and it's no longer on need, the conversation can be a little bit good. And, depending on how you say and what you say, you can lead that conversation to, you want to go back to the room and hang out for a minute. We could watch some movies or whatever, blah, blah, blah. See how she feels. And if you get that, and all you did was have to feed her, throw a couple hundred pesos her way, I don't know. That's a whole lot different, in my personal opinion, than throwing thousands of pesos at the mama sign to try to brokerage a deal and do this and do that. Going through the whole bar situation is what I'm trying to say. Or meeting them in the red lights where you slide on over there and you negotiate prices with her on the street or something like that. It's a little bit different. So I ask the question again, and maybe this will further your thought process on it. Right? Is it really true that in one way or another we're going to pay for it anyways? Because again, how we pay, what we pay, and what, the money is allocated towards, that's just different. Because, if you're dealing with the young lady of the night, whatever that may be, coming from the bar setting, that's the bar fine, that's everything that goes with it, the fare back to the hotel, plus the hotel that you're staying in, what you're paying for in that regard, that's a whole different pay for play activity as opposed to, in my personal opinion, just locking in, chilling, conversation over some food. When we see where the conversation goes, and if it leads back to that, so be it, right? We're just not coming out of pocket saying, hey, take everything that I had, baby. Take everything that I had, all right? Not, and I guess that does depend on your financial situation when you're broke like me. Gotta find ways to, you have to have a flair for the dramatic, or you have to, find fancier ways to, get from point A to point B. But definitely interested to hear what you guys got to say in the comment section. Y'all know what time it is, man. It's time for Good Doc to go and get the get. And so with that being said, y'all know Good Doc is officially out. At least Nako Paalam, which means I am going now. Bye-bye. As always, love you guys. Sincerely do. Makita. Mabuhay. Peace.